Hi guys, welcome back. Well, look here, we're nearly done. In the last tutorial, which was tutorial number 5, we finished the arms. So at that stage we've got a head, a body, 2 arms and 2 legs. So you can see that there's a giraffe starting to take shape. Okay, so today what we're going to do for our jolly giraffe is the horns, the ears, and some spots for his body. So we're going to start with the horns, and we're going to use contrast colour yarn, and we're going to do 6 single crochets into a magic circle. Was that out of shot? Sorry, 6 single crochets into a magic circle. Contrast yarn is white, so we'll put the pink out the way for now. And we've got our hook and we've got our row marker. So here we go. Now, I'm not talking through these magic circles so much now. If you need me to, just mention in the comments that I still need to do it at this stage. So, and then for other videos, I'll remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's our 6. So hold your work, pull your tail, close your hole. There you go. And get your yarn marker and your contrast colour and go between the working yarn and the hook. And then we're going to do row 2. Row number 2, increase in each stitch around. So we had 6 stitches, so now we're going to increase in every stitch and we'll end up with 12. Under the loops, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last one, 11, 12. Then you bring your tail forward and bring in the pattern. And there we go. Row 3, single crochet in each stitch around, 12 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Row 4, invisible decrease 6 times. And we're going to have these horns made in no time, aren't we? So take your tail backwards and decrease 6 times. So what we're going to do before we do that, we're going to fasten this tail off because we're going to have a little hole left by the time we've decreased. So pull your tail, get your suture, your needle. Oh, I've gone and spoilt myself. I've not said that all the time. My loop's gone, so I'll just go through the next one. Matters not. Crochet is very forgiving, you know. So keep your loop, put your tail through. There's no need to ever panic because everything you can rectify any mistake really. So all you've got to do is pull it down. So there you go. And we're going to invisible decrease 6 times. So through the first front loop, through the second front loop, working yarn through both loops, then working yarn through the last 2. Okay, but you're getting good at that now, aren't you? And I'm not going to complete the last one because I have a feeling we're going to be changing colour here. And yes, we are, look. So change to main colour yarn in the last stitch. Again, you can look in figure 4 and figure 5. Cut the contrast yarn and knot both ends together and stuff the end of the horn only. So this is the end of the horn and this is the only bit we're going to be stuffing. So bring in your pink yarn. There we go. Now you've not done a decrease over, you've not done a colour change over a decrease before, but it's no different really, because all you're going to do is you're going to do the first half of your stitch, which is pick up your 2 loops and bring it through, and that's where you're going to stop. Then you're going to cut the yarn, hold on to it nice and firmly with your right hand, and finish your stitch with your new colour. There you go. So quite easy, not much different. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So that's the horn finished. So shall we stuff a bit of stuffing in it before we go any further? Don't need much. Thank goodness for long nails and little fingers. I'll tell you what I use sometimes, and I haven't brought one up with me. I get a little wooden skewer and use the end of a little wooden skewer. If I've got some really tight bits to stuff, I use the end of a wooden skewer. Or anything like that really you can use. You can revert back to your scissors like we did before. It's like that, look. Okay. So we're going to go back to the pattern. Changed our colour. And now we've got rows 5 to 11 single crochet in each stitch around. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7 rows. I don't know why it doesn't, I missed it off there. I have to go back and redo that. So 7 rows in pink. Now we can't stuff those in just yet, so we'll be able to stuff them in a minute. And as usual, I'm going to see you back here after I've done my 7 rows. And there we go. 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And bring the pattern back in. So I've done the 7 rows, so we slip stitch in the next stitch, 1 chain fasten off, leave a long 50cm tail for sewing and cut your yarn. So we can take the tail out now to do slip stitch into the next stitch, 1 chain, fasten off, pull your tail through. And there we go. So it's just the end that's been stuffed. Look, the rest of it's not been stuffed. And here's one I made earlier. Okay, so there's the 2 horns done. So what we're going to do next, we're going to do some ears. Okay, we've got to make 2 ears using main colour, and we're going to 6 single crochets into a magic circle. So here's my pink. Combine it then. Under, over the top, pull you through, loop through, and there you have it. Locking stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your work, pull your tail, close your hole. There we go. Insert your running yarn. So what's the next row? Row 2, single crochet in each stitch around. So that's 6 single crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to fasten the tail off at this stage, because you'll see why in a minute. This is going to be quite a narrow end, and it's going to be almost impossible to turn it inside out to do it. So we'll do it now before we go any further. So pull your end tight through your stitch, thread your yarn. Remember to leave a loop this time. There we go. And pull your tail through your loop. There we go. See what I mean? How tight it's going to be. So pull it back the right way. Okay, and we've done 2 rows. Row 3. Increase in each stitch around. So we've got 6 stitches, so we're going to increase in every stitch, so that will make us 12. So your yarn marker's at the back, so bring it forward, and then we're going to increase into 6 stitches, or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you're wondering why it's so difficult, it's because we're doing the pointed end at the top of the ear. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Row 4, single crochet in each stitch around on 12 stitches. So top yarn tail to the back. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, 12 stitches. Row 5, single, we've got brackets, look, so single crochet by 1 and increase. And what do we have to do when things are in a bracket? We work these stitches inside the brackets, the instructions inside the brackets, by the amount of times it tells us outside the brackets. So single crochet by 1, increase 6 times, which will take us to 18 stitches. So bring your yarn forward, one single crochet, increase, one single crochet, increase, one single crochet, increase, one single crochet, increase. There we go. That should give us 18 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wonderful. Love it when a plan comes together. And how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done 5 rows and we've got 18 stitches. So row 6 to 9. So I'm going to mark all these down because I shall put them onto your pattern. When you buy a pattern, you will have how many rows we need to do. So we're going to do 4 rows now. One, 2, 3, 4, and I'll see you back here in a minute. And there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So row 9. So row 10, single crochet by 1, invisible decrease. Again, it's in brackets, so we've got to do it 6 times. Single crochet, first front loops, through 2, through 2. Single crochet, go. And then we've got 2 rows to do over those 12 stitches. Might as well read the last bit. Then we slip stitch in the next stitch, 1 chain, fasten off, and leave a long 50cm tail for sewing, and then cut the yarn. So 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd be thinking, well, how's this going to make an ear? I'll show you in a minute. It has to be folded in half before you can stitch it to the head. And when you fold the ear in half, it sort of makes it cup like an ear. So just one more round and I'll show you what I mean. And that's the ear nearly done. We're cracking on today, guys. I do hope you're enjoying making these toys. Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating if your stitches don't go correct, but if you persevere and keep just replaying the video, rewinding and replaying and rewinding and replaying, and if you really are stuck, give me a message and I promise I'll get back to you. Do you know what I mean? Or you can either go on to Etsy and send me a personal message or send me a comment down below in the video. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would never leave you stranded. So I can get rid of that now. I'm going to do one slip stitch, okay, to flatten it. And then one chain, fasten off and leave an end for sewing. And then if you notice, that's the ear look. We've got 2 ears. And when you go to stitch them onto the head, you fold it in half like that. And you see how it forms an ear. Okay? So we'll be showing you this in video 7, tutorial 7. We'll start assembling your giraffe, and that'll teach you how to do all that. So there are the 2 ears. Okay? And then the only parts we've got to do now are the spots. So let's have a look what we need for spots. And these are so easy. Large spots, you've got 2 rows. Small spots, you've got 1 row. So on my Jolly the Giraffe, I've done 3 small ones and 2 large ones. Now you can decide which you want to do. I put a large one and 2 small ones on the front, and then I'll just get him, look, and show you. He's got a large one on his belly and 2 small ones, and then on his back he's got 1 big one and 1 small one. And I think that's plenty really, because it's not a very big body. Okay, so we'll do the small one first, and using your contrast yarn because you want the spots to show up. We're just going to do a magic circle. And you go, ooh, bit fiddly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your work, put your tail, close your hole. And then we're going to increase in every stitch around. Now you don't really need this, but I'll just put it in just to, so that you know where you've been. So there's your first single crochet look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then slip stitch in the next stitch and 1 chain fasten off, so we can take the tail out. slip stitch into the next stitch, one chain, fasten off, and leave a tail for sewing. So there's your big spot. Now, I won't bother showing you how to do all that anymore because you know how to fasten all the tails in. So there's your big spot, and I've already got another big spot made there, look. So I've got 2 big spots, and then finally we're going to do 3 small ones. So 6 single crochets into a magic circle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your work, pull your tail, and then to finish off you do 1 slip stitch in the next stitch, 1 chain fasten off, and leave a 30cm tail for sewing your spot onto your giraffe. So slip stitch, 1 chain, fasten off, and there's my 3. Okay, so that's it. We've got all our bits now. We've got everything we need to assemble our giraffe. We have a head, a body, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 horns, and 2 ears, and your 5 spots. So come back for tutorial number 7 and we'll start assembling our giraffe. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.